Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to the Valorous Training Center YouTube channel. I am Mark Entrata, 47 years old, first degree black belt under the legendary Professor Cabrina Charles, and I have been running an academy for I think more than 15 years now. And I am the head coach of Alliance Jiu Jitsu Manila. So do check us out on Instagram so you kind of see what we've built here in Manila already. Anyway, this topic for today is very important, and I felt the need to make a video about this. And what's the topic? Well, if you saw the thumbnail, we're going to be talking about red flags in jiu-jitsu, or at least when you're looking for a jiu-jitsu academy, what to spot. Why? Because recently there's a video, or I think a few videos floating around saying, oh, these are the red flags in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. And here's the thing, I think these people don't really know what the term red flag means. Yes, it's just dictionary or Google or maybe even ask AI. So just to help everyone with this, what is a red flag? Okay, a red flag, see, I have my notes, is commonly used to refer to a warning sign or indicator of a potential problem or concern. And ignoring will eventually lead to, listen up, emotional, physical, mental, and or financial harm. Please take those things into consideration before thinking something is a red flag, regardless whether it's a jiu-jitsu academy or people you meet, people you're dating. Those That's the definition of a red flag and why ignoring it can be potentially dangerous. So now that we're clear with that, well, in jiu-jitsu, for me, red flags should really focus more on the culture and character of first the instructors and the leaders or whatever, the head coaches and the team itself. But what's really happening now is, especially with the rise of no-gi jiu-jitsu really is becoming more of a sport. So when we talk about sports, uh, it's almost become like a frat boy martial art. It's for the tough guys, but not that tough to do MMA. So there's a lot of like, oh yeah, man, like I don't know, bro something. So now I've seen several lists, videos of these people making red flag lists, okay, whatever. So now a good question to ask or to even research these people coming out with these lists is first of all, I think maybe some of you guys are gonna be like, oh, man, I know the guy you're talking about. He could kick your ass in jujitsu. Yeah, maybe jujitsu. I'm not talking about jujitsu. I'm talking about red flags in a jujitsu team, in a jujitsu culture. Doesn't matter if his jujitsu is better than me. Maybe he's a pro. He does this full time. Anyway, so people coming out with red flags list, you have to check if first, how long have they been running an academy? And no, 3 years isn't long enough to tell if it's a successful academy or not. Second, what is the retention rate? Sure, maybe we see, oh, I have a lot of students now, but what about in 6 months, 2 years, 3 years? Third, what is the injury rate? Remember, this channel is mostly for people who are hobbyists, beginners, and older people. So these are very important things to consider. Next, how long do women last in their team? Or is it a revolving door of women? That's a very good question to ask. I will discuss this more later. And the last one is, how many successful individuals outside of jiu-jitsu train at that academy? Like, are they successful lawyers? Do they have great families? I mean, when I say family, you know, Is he a devout husband, wife, father, etc.? Basically good people. These are good questions to ask when, or to look for, or to ask, yeah, you know, when you see someone making all these lists. Now, probably you'll see in the kind, oh, they have around 50 students. Good, but we'll see. Again, if it's just for 2 years, 3 years, anything can still happen. Doesn't mean what you're doing now is eventually going to work later on or in the long run. So now let's discuss what I find some of the dumbest red flags I've seen on social media. All right, first on the dumb list. Oh God, I hope the guy who made this list was really just trying to be fun, because it's the turning your back to tie your belt red flag. Again, let's go back. It's all. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna discuss this list, and then we'll go back to the the potential dangers of ignoring red flag. Okay. So turning your back to tie the belt. All right. So if you see someone doing that, especially your professors, how can that lead to emotional, physical, mental, or financial harm in the future? How? It's just imagine, bro. Imagine this scenario. Oh, hey man, why'd you quit jujitsu? I thought your coach was cool. Yeah, man. He's like super nice. He's happily married for like 20 years. Great kids. He's helped so many people improve their lives. But man, I remember there was this one time he was rolling, and after the spar, he saw his belt was on the ground, so he picked it up. Bro, he picked his belt up, went to the corner, turned his back on the class, and then he was doing something. And then when he faced us again, his belt was all tied, and his gi was perfectly nice again. I was like, man, that is a red flag, because I saw someone from Instagram post that. Imagine how absurd and retarded that is. But hey, whatever. Next, picture of either Helio Gracie, it's Carlos Gracie, or any of the founders. Well, okay, going back to the first one. First of all, just to be clear, even I don't turn my back most of the time when I tie my belt. So I don't even implement this rule. I just know it's absurd because it hasn't. I've never seen anyone, or there's no real study. There's no study that correlates bad behavior and dangerous behavior with people who turn their backs to tie their belt. It's not like when you see someone who's nice, or someone who's very nice to you but very rude to waiters, drivers. Now that's a red flag, because again, it goes back to the person's character. Anyway, moving on. Next, again, the picture of the founders, whoever found, unless you guys are forced to really, let's say Helio's photo, right? Unless you're forced to go, oh no, every time you see it, you have to put your hands up, say a little prayer. Oh, dear Helio, thank you so much for giving us the gift of jiu-jitsu. I am here because, and blah 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 blah. Yeah, now that is a red flag. But if there's just a picture there, how's it a red flag? You know, Actually, most of us, especially if you're a jiu-jitsu instructor, yeah, you do owe, regardless. Read the book. See, you guys better start reading books. Read the book, amazing book by Robert Drysdale. He talks about this, the impact of the Gracies. I know he's getting a little bit of hate from, weirdly enough, from, yes, because they're Gracie cult-like fanatics who misinterpret what he was saying, but he really credits Helio, Carlos, and later on, Carlos Gracie Jr., who started the IBJJF, with the popularity of jiu-jitsu. And because of the popularity of jiu-jitsu, people like me and all those other instructors, and pretty much most instructors all over the world, can really trace what they do to, I mean, if it's jiu-jitsu, any, to those, to the Gracies. It is what it is. Now, do I have a picture of Helio at my hand? Of course not. So, and it's also because I don't know, like, there are things that he, back in the day, him, his brother, it was a different time. Even Hickson spoke out against it in his book, which you should read also, called Breathe, that the older Gracies, that time, Helio, Carlo, they were very misogynistic. So, yeah, and plus, I just doesn't fit the aesthetic of our academy. But again, I will not say that it's a red flag if you see an academy with pictures of Helio and whatever, or whoever founded their academy, because it's also showing respect to them, showing gratitude that, hey, I'm doing this. I can feed my family. I have my own place. I can live the life I want to live because of these people. Unless you're like super narcissistic and you think that, oh, okay, from my head, man. Whatever. Anyway, next. Oh, women not being able to roll with men. Now, I see where this could be a red flag for some, especially, let's say you're a female competitor or you really want to compete. You're really just allowed to train with other women. And let's say if the academy is just a little bit smaller and not have a lot of women, then yes, it could be limiting to your goals. But in general, I'm not talking about a competition team or pro team. I actually think it's even better to, if women are not really allowed to roll with men. Again, I'm speaking as a brother. I have three sisters. As a husband, as a father of I have a daughter, and as someone who has very very good friends. I have a lot of great friends who are female. Plus, we do a lot of women empowerment workshops. And through the years, we've done so many research, and not just in the jiu-jitsu community, but of course, but come on, man, let's face it. A lot of creeps also do jiu-jitsu. And what's the fastest way? What's the easiest? It's not as if we're playing tennis, where the other person's very far. So yeah, you can, I don't know, your imagination can run wild all you want, but you still don't have physical access to that woman or the girl. But in jiu-jitsu, it's as easy as, hey, you want to roll? Oh, sorry, I was going for the collar. Sure you were. See? So for me, it's a safer route. Now, how do we do things at our academy? First, all the new female students can only train with other female students. Why? Because, man, jiu-jitsu is like awkward enough, even for guys. So imagine if it's a guy. And next, because I also don't know all the students on a personal level. Anyone can be nice. Eh, Like a new guy or like someone who's been with me for like a year, I still don't know who you really are. Let's not pretend that, oh, yeah, we're buddies. So who knows? Maybe you're a creep. Maybe you're someone who's secretly, I don't know, perving on these. It happens. So one of the best ways is really just to prevent them from rolling with men. Now, next, we also have later on, if the female is comfortable rolling with guys already, we still pair them up with people like me. I'm a coach. I've known all the other coaches and for years. So I should have known you for over at least 5 years before I do allow you to train with women. So yes, women do train with men at our academy, but I will not say it's a red flag if some academies do not allow other women or do not allow women to train with men. I think it's a very safe approach. It might be a little bit too extreme, but again, I'd rather just have that than have all. Come on, man. Let's not pretend that there are no man. Some are even world champions. Some have cases now. Some, like I think fled the U.S. or Thailand or stuff like that. So it happens. That's why I think it's really dumb when you say that it's a red flag if women are not allowed to row with men. Maybe because you're also a creepy instructor. Yeah? Anyway, next. I know this is, but the uniforms. Oh, they're, they wear uniforms. They have team uniforms. It's a red flag. So imagine if, well, first of all, especially here in the Philippines, private and even public schools wear uniforms. So you think the whole education system is a red flag? Well, I know, granted that it's not like super high level, but that's my point. Oh, so with the uniforms, imagine if, oh yeah, I really like the team, the instructor's great, the curriculum's great, everyone's friendly, it's super safe. I don't feel threatened when I don't feel that I'm in danger when I train. Man, but I quit because man, they wanted me to buy their team uniform. I wanted a show your role, bro. So it means you're not really into the jiu-jitsu, you're not into the culture, you're not into the lifestyle, but you're into the, oh hey, I want to look cool on Instagram. So yeah, I don't think it's a red flag at all. Now, when does it become a red flag? At least in my opinion, if they require you to, oh, you have to have at least three gis, three no gi. You can only wear even your casual shirts. It should be team shirts only. Now that's extreme. That's like, okay. Now that I get why it could be a red flag or should be a red flag. And the last one, again, these are just the top five, the dumbest list for me. The last one is actually contracts. Like people make a big deal that, oh, they have contracts. Yeah. Because this guy kind of ties in with the uniform policy. So with the contracts, well, first again, just to make it clear, especially this if you're my student, I don't even have contracts. At the most, our students can only sign up for 3 months. Why? Because I always want to have that option to remove the student if they're not really down with how we do things, with the culture. Again, when we say culture, it's like how they carry themselves with the values of respect, with the values of humility. I don't care what your jujitsu is, uh, whatever. See? So, for me personally, I don't have contracts, but I get it why some academies do. Now, believe it or not, I have this super quick story. Believe it or not, I go to the gym, bro. It's just not obvious. Come on, man. I'm 47. I don't do steroids, so it's really hard to massive. But see, even in the gym where I go to, there's contracts. So recently I signed like a 6 month contract. So I get a lot of discounts also and a free protein shaker, whatever. See, so yeah, not a bad deal. I didn't go, oh my god, you have contracts? Oh man, I'm not lifting here anymore. Because there's actually a gym closer to my house. It's actually walking distance. But yeah, I just don't like the environment. It's just a bunch of gym bros always, they have loud voices and making everyone hear that they're womanizers and stuff like that. I'm like, wow, I guess women these days really have low standards. So, but anyway, so there's contracts. So that is a now let's go back to the uniforms and the contracts, and let's go back to red flag. See, how does that, how does having a contract or even a uniform policy affect you in an emotional, physical, mental, or financial way? Now, you're gonna say, oh, financial. Really, I've been doing jujitsu for over 25 years. I know people from all over the world, and I've never heard anyone say, again, let's just, hey, what happened to that guy? Hey, you know what happened to him? Man, he had to sell his house. Now he's in debt. His wife left him because of all the debt. Why? What happened? Bro, he signed a 1 year contract at a jiu-jitsu academy. Oh, you should have warned him, man. I thought you were his friend. Oh, yeah, man. I'm so sorry. I feel bad for him. He's financially ruined because of that contract. See? Yeah, not too bad, right? Yeah, I'm just here to put things in perspective. Again, the funniest thing is these are the dumbest list I've seen, in my opinion. But the funny thing is, I don't even do them. I'm just informing people out there, especially if you're watching. Don't be swayed by all these oh lists, especially if the guy saying the list acts this way, like with a lot of confidence and very condescending and very, you know, oh, yeah, of course, man. Oh, that's oh man, run away, run. And then the other guy, ha ha ha. Man, it's like it's like how high school dudes like do it to embarrass someone. So that those are the top five, man. The list is actually long, but I don't want this video to be like over an hour. So now we're gonna move on to the real list, the real red flag list. Coming from me, someone who's been teaching for over 15 years, doing jiu-jitsu for 25, I've seen a lot, the best of the best and the worst of the worst. So that's what we will discuss next. Now, moving on to the real list of red flags. Let's go back again to the why ignoring these or why the red flags. Ignoring will lead to emotional, physical, mental, and or financial harm. So let's see how my list uh, stacks up to that one. First one, instructors hitting on students. Sending inappropriate messages, asking them for dates. That's just I now here's the thing. I know some people, very, very few, they met eventually their wives at at, they used to be timid, but the rate is very, very low. But especially if it's an instructor, it's man, why it doesn't make the environment safe for women because now everyone is a target. So imagine if you're a girl, you just wanted to learn jiu-jitsu, you're just there, you've been harassed all your, let's say you're a very good looking girl, you're harassed pretty much everywhere, and you're like, oh, I want to learn self-defense because I always get harassed, and surprise, surprise, you get harassed or silently, I mean, some people don't harass you like straight up, like the little things, the little red flags, the little side comments, the little messages, flirty messages. Now, maybe that's your thing, it works for you. Maybe you like the instructor, then it's up to you. But good luck with that. Because I can guarantee you're not the first. Uh, but yeah, so how is that? Why? Because it can lead to emotional, physical. Yes, some get that's why some black belts and all over the world, a lot of black belts have cases against them. Physical, that violence or something against women. Mental, because it messes up with your brain. And financial harm because of the whole therapy thing. And maybe if you want to pursue legal action, then it's gonna cost you. Now, if you're a dude, you're like, oh, but I'm a dude. But yeah, doesn't matter. You see that the instructors or the head coaches or the seniors are like that, then that's the type of culture and environment you're in. Imagine, would you feel safe if your sister or your wife or your whatever, any female who's important in your life would train there. And let's say you're not into jujitsu, would you feel safe? The answer is no. Then that's a friggin' red flag, brother. Next, instructors shaming their students and name calling on and off the mats. See, the whole bullying thing. Now, some people want to spin this around, saying, "Oh man, you have to be emotionally tough, man. You have to take it. Like, yo, we're just teasing you, man. We're just calling you reverse Gandalf because your guard gets passed all the time, man. Because your guard sucks, bro." See, eventually these will have mental effects on the student, affect his confidence. But weirdly enough, like some people are really just into that. They're like, oh, yeah, it's okay, it's okay. I've seen people get berated or really, but anyway. So for me, it's gonna cost you emotional damage, man. Maybe not now. Maybe you can deny it all you want. Then later on, that's maybe you become, I don't know, like a serial killer later on because of all that pent up anger. So yeah. Next one. No clear training protocols, especially for safety and how the classes are run. Because we have now. Why is this dangerous again? Let's go back because it will cost you financial harm because there's no structure. It's anything goes. It's like, oh, bro, here we don't follow rules, man, because rules are for sheep, but we're not sheep. No. We're wolves. We're the apex predators. We're the alphas here. Screw the rules, bro. Hey, man, don't you think we've tried that before? Don't you think I was a young guy also who wanted like fun, exciting, crazy stuff? Yeah, most older instructors, we've done that. That's why we don't do that anymore. But who knows? Maybe not you. Maybe not the academy you're now. It's gonna eventually cause you physical harm because there's no safety protocols, and then there's no rules. Anything can happen. So you're gonna get hurt physically. Then financially, yes. Why? Because you're gonna have to go to therapy, operation, or maybe you can't even go to work because you've been injured seriously. See, see, now you see why it's a red flag, like a legit one. Next, new white belts are fed to the colored belts to go all out sparring in their first day or first week of training. Now, some are gonna gaslight you and say, "Oh man, come on, this is how you become tough, bro." Because here we're sure, but that type of training isn't, especially if the guy, the person is really just wanted to be stronger, be more. It's just use this analogy: weightlifting. The dude says, "Oh, I haven't done anything. I'm super weak. Okay, this is my first time hitting the gym. But I want to be stronger." Do you make him bicep curl right away? 50 pounds. See, I mean, it took me what? I don't know, like 3 months before I could do it. No, I'm just kidding, man. I can't. I think my max is still like 20 kilos. No, sorry, 20 pounds, 25. See, but anyway, you get the point. It's the same. See, if you see that people are getting fed to the lions, yeah, and you see how the higher belts even just like, oh, what's up, man? Now they got like, let's go back to the second one I said, like, now they will shame students, call them names and embarrass them. Man, not a good culture. Why? Because again, it's gonna cost you first emotional and mental harm. Because now you're like, oh man, I suck, terrible. Oh, I'm being called names here. Next, physical, because you don't know stuff. See, you better. That's why you better watch some of the earlier videos I made. I discussed this regarding injuries and with the white belts, and of course, it's gonna cost you financial harm because if you get injured, like I said earlier, you're gonna have to do therapy, surgery, and etc. See, not turning the back to while you're tying belt, right? See, now you see the difference of a real red flag and a a pseudo red flag. Anyway, going next. The last one is you can't question the rules or even the techniques, even if it makes no sense. Or worse, some of the rules, or not even the rules, things that they make you do are against basic human values. You know, that's why you have to, if you do, I hope you do, like have a moral compass. Then, if it goes against the moral compass, if you see what they tolerate in the culture, you can but that's not cool. That's not what I want. That's not what I want for my kid. That's not what I want to be. But that's the norm. Oh, they're and even in the jujitsu techniques. Now, maybe they really just don't know the concept behind it. They're like, oh, grip here, grip. And then you ask, hey, coach or professor, whatever, how come you grip there, not, let's say, on the bicep, not on the forearm, etc.? Man, just do it. That's what I told you to do. And that's what my instructor told me to do. A good coach should know why. And if you can't question, then now you're like, does this even work? So those are just some of the things to that for me are very important to see, to observe. Those for me are the real red flags because again, the ones on my list will eventually lead to emotional, physical, mental, and or financial harm. Not the pseudo list. Why? Because now, here's the thing, okay? To end this video, here's the thing. Just because, and this is becoming very common across the board, and not just in jiu-jitsu, that right now, just because it doesn't fit your standards or your views in life, you make it a red flag already. Don't you think that's very narcissistic and selfish and, you know, pretty, yeah, narcissistic and selfish? Oh, because, no, man. The dudes who make up all these lists, the red flags list, that again don't eventually cause any danger, when emotional, physical, mental, or financial. Man, y'all just sound like those women who shame men with standards. Women who go, oh, it's a red flag if the guy listens to Joe Rogan, or if he watches anime, or if he doesn't accept you for having an OnlyFans and you working with other guys and making adult content. That's a red flag. Those guys are losers. Those guys are insecure. You all pretty much sound like that girl or those girls. So yeah. Here's the thing is, maybe you're finding success now. Maybe those gyms are finding success now. But the true test is longevity. If you notice, a lot of if you know the top three teams year in, year out, the IBJJF and other tournament or competitions, are mostly the established teams. Teams who have standards, teams who follow certain rules, and who have all these regulations. Because they've done it all. They've been around for 30 years and they're still here. It means what they do actually works. Some of the best athletes in history come from these teams, whether it's Alliance, Atos, Gracie Baja. Very, very few. Once in a while, there's going to be like a name here and there, but very few, man. But the legends, if we talk about legends, people who have done amazing with their career, because legends, it's about longevity. It's not winning one time. It means they have a system that works for them. It's the same. So, thank you so much. I know this is another very long and serious video. So I really appreciate it, especially to all those who keep watching our videos. It's like now we have our little group. And I want to just give a shout out to, hey, Marina. See? Thank you for watching. You message. So if you want to shout out, come on, man, let's do this. Let's just have some fun. Comment your name below. Let's do the shout out. Of course, Julie, the cat. Thank you so much. It's funny because Julie the cat, because you're like Fila and Phoenix, right? So it's like cat. So Julie the cat is a character from one of my favorite trilogies of all time. No, not Lord of the Rings, because that's the greatest ever. But no, one of the, so probably top five, the Mighty Ducks. Julie the cat, I think Newman was her last name in the movie. She was the goalie on the second and third movie. So Julie, thank you so much. Of course, Dino Estoque, and we also have Ace. Thank you for commenting on the last video. Of course, we have the usual Anton, Ryan. Brother, come on. Don't wait for me to tell you in class that I gave your name a shout out before you watch the video. So, yeah. And to all those who watched it, thank you so much. I hope you learned some stuff. I know it might have ruffled some feathers, but hey, I don't care. I make sense. So, like and subscribe. We would truly appreciate it. And remember, stay safe, have fun, and let's train until we are 99. And we will see you guys on the next video. Os.